Welcome this week to Auto Boom Episode 2.
Hello.
It's all about customer service this week.
Sure is.
This is
Ali.
And I'm Jason. And you're watching Auto Boom live on Jess TV. You can also watch us on jessfm.ca. You can call to the studio with your comments or your questions, 403-942-0068.
0068.
And we're also on Facebook. And don't forget, you can download an app for your iPhone or your Android.
Okay, where do you want to start today, Jason?
I want to start with a disclaimer, Ali.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
Just want to make sure that everybody understands that the views and opinions that are expressed on this show are not reflective on the channel or any particular dealership or
Employers,
manufacturers, or anybody in any industry in any way. What we're simply doing is just expressing what we have heard, sharing stories, and in the future having guests talking about their own experiences.
Yeah, we just wanted to make that clear that it is 100%, either our experiences or what, we've had brought to us and volunteered to us. In by no way, no means do we want to offend anybody with anything we say or anything like that.
Yeah, we're not trying to offend people, but it might happen.
It's all in a positive, emotional light.
Absolutely, very positive. So, I guess first question, how was your week?
Okay, it was awesome.
Awesome.
Super exciting. It was really good.
Yeah.
How about yours?
You know what? We had so much feedback. We had one episode so far, and the amount of feedback and comments, is astounding. People took their time out of their day to actually get a hold of us.
Yeah, they did.
And, get a hold of mostly us and people around us and talk about the show.
Yeah, the emails I received from, ladies in the industry, both as customers and employees, it was insane.
Right.
And again, super exciting, and that's what we're here for, to chat in a positive manner.
Absolutely.
And, represent, both sides, employees.
Yeah,
customers,
employees, employers. Employers, everybody. In fact, we've heard from everybody. And, I guess maybe some of them were hard to read, but a lot of them were just super positive and super exciting. We're just really excited to keep going and find out what kind of reaction our second episode gets. And it's all from the perspective of the customer and a little bit from the seller. We want to share both sides of every story with you guys. And with that, why don't we...
hints and tips. Jason's got some things up his sleeve today.
Insider scoops for everyone.
Scoops.
Yes, scoops.
Ali's got some scoops he wants to share with us.
Yes. So, I'm hoping to actually go behind the veil of the sales process and sort of bring us out in front of the customer so the customer knows where we're coming from and why we do what we do. And then...
we're here, as well for the customer, and, at the end of the day, customer is number one, right? That's our industry. We're here to help the customer make the right decisions about what vehicle they want to go with.
And that's a great segue into our first segment, because what we're talking about is customer service. And what is it?
What is it?
What is it?
What is it?
Well, rule number one in sales.
Service is king, apparently.
Service is senior.
I can't read his writing. He's got notes.
Service
I can't read
is
it at all.
okay, so sorry for my writing. I was a doctor in a previous life. Service is senior to sales.
There we go.
Okay, that's the first auto boom for the day.
Okay, what does that mean?
Service is senior to sales. So what it means to me, and this is how we do our training at work. So we actually discuss what is sales and how do we accomplish our sales. And the very first rule, and this is how we start every day, is service is senior to sales.
True.
And so what that means to me is that if I can do everything I can to make sure that I am being of service to every customer that walks into the door every day, the sales will just come.
Aside from that, customer service, you know, your customer's going to receive from you is going to, you know, make sure they're feeling trusted,
Yes.
valued, and they're happy in the knowledge that they've made the right decision in the purchase. You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. That's actually very perfect. Yes. So, you know, and let's just actually have some specific stories about how we've done personal customer service. Now, if you don't mind sharing, there was a story you were telling me. In fact, we were going over our notes last night, and Ellie was telling me about this customer that had come in from out of town, had a hotel booked. I'll let you tell it.
That did go a little bit pear-shaped. But yeah, he was coming in from out of town. And so I went to a store downtown to buy a cute little Welcome to Lethbridge card. You know, like I said, he was from out of town, so I wanted to say, you know, thanks for coming so far, you know, to purchase a vehicle.
Something local, something personal.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so I flew
That's
downtown.
beyond what I've ever done, but go on.
On my lunch hour, flew downtown. It was super busy. It was like roadworks everywhere, and it was crazy. So I got a little gift. I took it to the hotel, dropped it off at the front desk, said, okay, you know, this guy will be coming today. And I was really looking forward to him, you know, getting his little gift and hopefully cheered him up a little bit on his long journey. And then, yeah, the next morning when I met my customer, he explained that he did arrive at the hotel late, 1 a.m. in the morning. They told him they had no room for him. So he had to walk next door to another hotel. I was like, dang it.
Did he ever get the card?
He did. He
Okay.
did get the card. They did call him back after we'd gone to the other hotel, and they did tell him that, oh, there was a card dropped off here for you.
Well,
So
there's
I did
some.
try. I really did do my best there. Didn't exactly pan out, but
No,
he appreciated that I had done that. you know.
Yeah, I mean, what
So-
more can you do, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You did your part. You went above and beyond.
It's kind of like my life in general. I do my best, and it still kind of goes a bit pear-shaped. So, oh well. As long
I
as you
think-
try, right?
I
As
think
long
that's a
as you
great
try.
story.
And yeah, if you go above and beyond, and you know, the customer does appreciate that, I think.
Absolutely. So
Yeah, for the
and so our jobs have such a variety to them. People think that we're just there to sell, but you know, there's a lot more to it. From my side, I just had a couple quick things. One afternoon, it was a little bit slow. It was a Saturday. I did my utmost to get a couple people in through the door and actually take a look at these vehicles. It was gross out, like it is right now with the weather, and the vehicles I wanted them to drive, you couldn't even see out the windows. They had just been splashed and covered with mud. And so I had to, of course, on a Saturday, you don't have a lot of staff on hand. So, you know, I was the car wash guy. I spent my entire afternoon washing cars so that my guests, as they arrived, would have clean cars to drive. And
It's no fun when it's like minus 15. It's freezing.
yeah, I mean, we live, but yeah, you're right. And of course, our clothes are more dressy than appropriate for weather. So,
Well, they are kind of lucky. You don't have to worry about mascara issues and things like that.
yeah, I don't actually
Yeah.
wear mascara, so I am lucky in that way.
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting some guy liner, but
Why not, right? Let's try it.
But another thing for customer service, and this is probably the weirdest little story that I have. I had okay, so I was asked to call a customer because a previous employee had been in contact with her and had moved on. He had moved on, so nobody had been in contact with this lady. So I thought, you know, I guess somebody needs to be in contact with her. So I called her. So for me, it was a cold call. Just introduced myself. Hi, I'm Jason. And I heard that you had been talking about somebody else, talking to somebody else previously, that you need somebody perhaps to sort of follow up and make sure that we've met all your needs. Oh, did she ever sound grumpy to hear from me? She wasn't happy at all. She's like, yes, what, where are you calling from? And so, you know what, and this is the thing is, I wasn't calling her to sell her anything. And I had to make that very apparent. So, and she sounded very down. I said, I'm sorry, but is there a problem, or is there something that's bothering you? And she goes, you know what, it's just this headache. And I said, okay, that can be common sometimes with people. And the Chinooks, they were moving in at the time. And she said, yeah, it's something like that. She said, but I feel like I need to go see a doctor. I said, great, then I should just let you go. You need to go see your doctor. Is there anything I can do to help? She said, no, there's nothing you can do to help. My doctor is left. He's not around. I can't get a hold of him. And I don't have another doctor. Actually, she needed a new doctor is what she needed. And so there was, at my own clinic, two female doctors that were looking for new patients. And so I said, well, how about this? If I can find you a doctor, would that help you? And she said, yes. So actually I did. I called the clinic. I got a hold of one of the female the receptionist for the female doctor, and asked her if she was willing to take on a customer. And then I passed that information along to my customer. And that day, I didn't sell a car. I actually just found somebody a doctor. That was my job for the day, doctor finder.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a really good example that you made a bit more effort than was really necessary. You went above and beyond the customer.
And now I have an appointment for her to come in and see. Sales follows service, so I now have an appointment for her to come in and take a look. Her vehicle's getting a little old, a little tired. Probably needs its own doctor, which we have in house, But it's just she's ready to move on. So that's what I want to be for her when she comes in, is just help that service.
That's really cute, and she really appreciated that a bit, right? Because you helped her.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Good for you, Jason.
Well, thank you, Ali. So another one that I really like, another rule of sales is, and this is for me personally, so it's gender specific, yes man. Have you ever seen that movie with Jim Carrey? You haven't watched. She doesn't watch movies.
No.
So there's a movie where it's called Yes Man, and he learns to say yes to everything. And I really love this movie because it really spoke to me. And so what I try to be is a yes man to every person that walks in through the door.
Okay.
Okay. So I need to say yes to everybody on everything, but I also have to say yes to my boss. So it puts me in an interesting sort of mediator position. Yes to one person, yes to another, customer and boss. But you know what? I manage it really well, obviously, because I'm still here and I'm paying the bills. So that's just for now. That's just a personal philosophy, is if I can say yes to everybody, then nobody can say no to me.
Interesting.
Yes.
It is. Okay, what else was we got written down there? Oh, okay.
Info. So, information is key. Information is key. So, what we want to do is for every customer who walks in through the door, we want to be able to offer all information, all the time, in that time that has been requested. And that's really how we differentiate ourselves, I think.
And the thing with that is, as well, is, we will do what it takes. For example, if the customer does come in and they're very open-minded, very flexible with their options, what they need, what they're looking for, then you know what? Let's have them test drive 4 vehicles if it takes that.
Absolutely.
Let's show them 4 different proposals if they want to see that as well.
Right. And what are they going to do with those proposals?
It's really difficult to make decisions. Just verbally telling somebody, it's super helpful to actually put that information in front of the customer, let them absorb what they need to know, and then make the decision from there. And you're there to help rule out,
other options?
By asking them questions and, really getting to the bottom of what the needs really are. That's kind of what we're all about, that's in sales, that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Right. And everything they ask, every bit of information they ask for, you need to provide. Everything.
Yeah.
So, like, Ali, for instance, you were dealing with well, we kind of actually alluded it to in our last episode, a little bit about that piece of paper with the number written down. Do you want to maybe mention something about that? What is your process when it comes to numbers?
Well, and that's the thing I did talk about on the last episode, is I think it's important to actually present the information, all the numbers, because there's a lot of numbers involved in a vehicle purchase. Really break it down and present it in a professional manner, not just on a small teared off slip of paper that you've handwritten in red pen.
And what can they do with that information?
Do they really understand what is written on there when there's only 2 numbers and minimal information? Well, that's not really helping them make the exact right decision, I don't think.
Right. And what if they're not ready to make that decision that day? What are they going to do with those numbers?
And that's the point of this. If you present all the information, let them take it away with them to discuss, think about, and discuss with other family members, other important decision makers in their household.
So, and that's the key, actually. You kind of just glossed over it, but that's the key, is take the numbers with them. Because honestly, if you've done your job and you've done it well, why shouldn't they take those numbers with you? What are you afraid of? As a salesperson, what are you afraid of? You've done your job.
And to be honest, it's a little bit like I trust my customers. I've built so much rapport and relationship with my customer. Why would I not trust my customer to want to come back the next day when we have agreed a time? Trust my customer. I do believe in that, because that if you're showing you trust the customer to take that information, that actually just build more trust and more confidence in you and your ability, in your profession, right?
And that trust has to run two ways. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later on, and you'll see why. But that trust has to go both ways, because there's something that happens between a salesperson and their customer. And you as a customer have to be aware of this, and we're going to go into that a little bit later.
Well, going back and going into that a little bit more, is the feedback I have back from customers is that they'll say, wow, I can take these 3 proposals with me today and come back tomorrow. Absolutely. And they say, wow, are you sure? Yes, why not? Right?
Why are they so surprised?
And then I'm shocked, and then I'm surprised that they don't believe that I will let them take that information away.
Right.
And they do come back the next day. Yeah, we've narrowed it down, Ali. This is the direction we want to go. And then again, talking to my sister, and she's also looking for a vehicle. So yeah, she's going to come back as well with me.
Yeah, actually, we do sell to multiple family members and friends because of this. And it doesn't always work. Sometimes you have somebody disappear, but that's fine too, because we know we did our job, and really it's just a numbers game. I mean, if you're forward and full disclosure with everybody, you're going to start catching more people.
I really would prefer and rather sell the customer the right vehicle, right product for them and their needs.
At the right price.
At the time.
And as
I don't
for
want anyone coming back and saying, in 6 months' time it was the wrong price and the wrong vehicle.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all on me.
I actually walked into a situation where I had personally 3 of my customers hanging out in customer service talking about their buying experience with me, and they were all smiles because all of them could compare notes and all of them could say the same thing. They not one of them could say, "Oh, how come you paid more than me or less than me?"
Yeah.
Nobody could actually say that because I'm open and fair with everybody. And so I have 3 sets of customers all talking about me. And it was nice to just walk into that customer bay and have them all, oh, here he is, and just get that warm reception and not have to be nervous about walking up in front of them and having to discuss these things with them or backtrack or make up excuses. I'm immune to those things.
Oh, that's a really cool experience to have when your customers are 3 of them, you said, stood there, and you weren't nervous about approaching them.
No, just walk right in. If you've got nothing to hide.
You have that, like you said, the full disclosure that you've been, open and honest with everything.
Absolutely.
And then they appreciated that, so it's really cool.
So, yeah, today's all about customer service. So let's give you customers everything you need. But first, what we need to say is that we're still live on Just TV.
We are live.
And unless you're watching it in 2022, in which case, welcome, future people. You can see us or hear us also on justfm.ca.
Just TV, Facebook, Instagram.
And then to download your apps for the iPhone or Android, Just FM app. And then, of course, you can call the studio. I encourage you to call the studio or contact us through Facebook, whatever's easiest for you. Number here is 403-942-0068. It would be really great for you to contact us through the station.
No, give us your feedback.
It is just
I'd love to hear it.
so helpful. You know what? If you have compliments, if you have criticisms, if you have just things you want to discuss, stories, your own experiences, we want to hear all of it.
Oh, it is.
Don't be afraid.
It's super important. It really did help us this week, to hear everyone's feedback.
Yeah.
It really did appreciate people taking the time to contact us, email and phone. It really was. It was, like I said, it was super exciting to actually get feedback. And it was all just so valid. It really was.
Yeah.
So.
And the auto industry can be a little bit intimidating for customers walking in through the door, and we don't want the show to be intimidating for you to come to us. So just please, we'll be open to everything you have to say, everything.
Yeah.
We love the fact that you're actually getting a hold of us. We want to continue getting that from you.
Yeah, and future topics. You know, I'd love to hear, you know, your ideas. Let us know what else you'd like us to cover.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
We need ideas.
In a few weeks' time, we will be bringing in our finance manager.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
He's super excited. He can't
He promised.
wait. Yeah, he did.
Before he knew we were
Yeah,
serious.
before he believed that
Doesn't matter.
this was actually happening. He did agree to do it, so I'm going to pin him down. He's coming in. He will be specifically talking about young drivers, newly qualified drivers, and you know the steps that they might need to take to car ownership.
Right. Oh, yeah. Not just new drivers, young drivers, but new drivers to the country, and new to credit, bad credit, all those types. In the time that we have allotted, an hour is kind of hard to get everything in there, but we're going to try to make sure we cover all the bases, because a lot of people who have perfect credit scores, they don't need us. They're not listening to us because they need our help, but the rest of you might.
But it's still good to know. I mean, how many people can actually say today what their credit score is? You know, to enable them to get 0% financing.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
You know,
okay,
and-
so yeah, advertising, 0% financing, do you qualify? Those are some of the things that we're going to go over.
And what that really means, and to make
Yeah.
sure we give our customers and you guys out there listening some more information, so when you do go into a dealership, you know, you've got some idea of you know, what you should know, what questions to ask, and yeah, a little bit more information so you actually know what you're going to be told is right and factual. You know, doing a little bit of homework yourself before you go into a
Oh,
dealership.
that's a great point,
You know?
because our next segment is all about, before you go into the dealership, what do you do and how do you prepare? So that's a question I really want you to answer, because I'm not going to answer it for you. You're watching, you're thinking, what do I do before I go to buy a car? And you know what? Ali and I are both car buyers as well. We're not just car sellers. In fact, we've only been in the industry part of our lives. Before that, I bought plenty of cars without any experience, any knowledge, just walking in blind. In fact, when I got into the car industry, I didn't really know what it was all about. I said in the last episode, I just thought you sit around your desk and update your Facebook and wait for a customer to come in. You just sell them, go home, you made some money, right?
And it can be intimidating. I was in the same position when I got here from the UK.
Right.
We got here, you know, we had a budget, and we needed to make a cash purchase because we knew we had no credit history. So, had a budget. Who was going to help us? Where did we go? We went to the wrong place.
It happens, guys. It happens.
Yeah, it didn't exactly.
It's okay.
The vehicle didn't last us as long as we hoped it would, you know, and that happens.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's another reason we're kind of doing this show.
Yeah, the
to
more
help people.
you know, the better you are, the better off you are. So, preparing for coming into a dealership, going online, that is probably the number one thing any of us do.
Yeah.
The internet
what
is
a
the answer to
minefield
everything.
that is.
Yes.
You go online, okay, yeah, I'm just going to search, you know, pre-owned vehicles. Holy smokes, how many, you know, hits do you get?
Yeah, so you got private sellers, you got dealerships.
Scary as well in itself.
Yeah, you've got dealerships that are a franchise of a manufacturer. You have privately owned dealerships that are just small mom and pop type shops in small towns and big cities. There's so much to go through. So when the new car buyer is shopping and they're looking at advertised prices, this is something personally that I want to go through because it just happened to me a couple days ago. A guy came in and said, well, I saw this lease price for this vehicle. This is what I want. Can you provide it? And the answer was no. And that's not what you want to hear from a salesperson. So we went through it, and this is what we found. And we had to dig. It was a bit difficult to do. And what we found was the ad wasn't from here. It was actually not even from anywhere near here. It was a completely different city in a different province. But that's not an excuse.
Yeah.
The thing about the pricing is you really have to get into what does the pricing mean. Does it include taxes?
Fees and taxes.
Fees and taxes. So
and
every
taxes.
dealership has some fees. There might be some add-ons to the car. Maybe they put mud flaps on it. It's already charged the unit. They're going to charge you for it. If you don't want that, you're going to have to pick a different vehicle. It happens.
What, was it disclosed?
Was it
This
disclosed?
is
That's just the
the
thing. It's all about the disclosure. So a dealership is perfectly within the rights to add things to a vehicle, but they have to disclose that to you.
Yeah.
And then in the advertised price was the taxes and fees included. Usually not, and that's just in most advertising. I mean, who's gonna advertise a stick of gum with tax, right? It's just not gonna happen. Was the vehicle on the lot? Was it available when you showed up there? Was it the correct vehicle? Was it the correct price? So what I found actually is when I clicked on the payment that he had showed me, it opened up a second screen, and this is the screen that he missed. It actually said with $5,132 down.
So
Or
it
trade-in
was there,
value.
but it was on a different page. So
Right.
it was disclosed, but you had to hunt to find it.
Right. And so I'm not here to make excuses for any advertising. What I'm here to say is just be fully aware of what that price is. In fact, when we went through all that, I was able to show him that my payment with no money down was actually better than the advertised one. And I was able to include those mud flaps at that cheaper payment, because there was mud flaps on ours. But it was fully disclosed. He understood it. It's still beyond his payment budget, and that's fine. So he's not able to buy that vehicle. So now we're looking at something else.
So I have a question. So did he come into the dealership, or did he call you?
Actually, he started with a phone call.
So he went online.
He went online,
Okay, and then
started
he
with
called.
a phone call, and just asked if I had this unit available, nothing else. He didn't mention payments, advertising, or anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had three. I had a black one, a silver one, gray one, and a white one, which was fine for him. He didn't like color.
See, and I love that you can shop from home. You get the information that you're looking at. You kind of narrow down the vehicle yourself. And then, you do have the dealership's phone number right there, so you can pick up the phone and call and speak to,
A live person,
Yeah.
a human being, not some scary sales monster, just a person, a human
I hope we're
being.
not all scary sales monsters. I don't want to be a scary sales monster.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you can be.
Sometimes. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is when you actually get to the store. So you're prepared, you found a price, you've gone through it, you
Just
understood
going back
it.
a tiny little
Okay.
bit. So you made your phone call. You've had your list of questions before you made your phone call, because you want to narrow down and make sure that you like the sound of the person on the other side of the phone. So you want to go visit them.
Yep.
I think that's pretty important to give them a call, and see what information you were given on the phone, because that's another side of things, right?
And make an appointment.
Is that salesperson answering your questions
Right.
or not?
Yeah. So on the
No.
phone, your salesperson should not be selling to you. He should be
Right.
offering service. What information can I get you on the phone right now? And answering every single one of those.
Yeah.
And if he has to get your number and call you back to complete that phone call, because we don't always have all the information. Like I said, there was 3 units there. Some of them, one of them had mud flaps, one of them had, I don't know, whatever. Anyways, so I had to make sure.
You answer the phone when you're not at your desk. You're like running by,
Oh yeah, running
someone
by
else's phone,
somebody
and
else.
it's not being answered. So you take it, but you're not at your desk right now.
Yeah, so it's hard to answer questions when you don't have the information.
Yeah.
So it's okay if a salesperson gets your number, they shouldn't be harassing you. Don't worry about that sort of thing. If they do, just block them, right?
Yeah, but the other side of that phone call is, because it's pretty important, is that first initial contact, with the customers. Are they asking you questions, to help you as well, still discover what vehicle, is going to help you
Yeah.
and what you're looking for? So
And giving you enough information to feel confident, to make an appointment,
Yeah.
to come in and have a look at the information that he's offered you, and make sure that that matches up with what's on the lot. Right?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. Once in a blue moon, when it's something very specific, like, is that one 2007 Beetle diesel still sitting there? Yes. Okay, I'm not going to show up till tomorrow, and I can't get a hold of you because it does sell, and you show up. Hey, you know what? Once in a blue moon, it does happen that a vehicle is sold, and it's really legitimately not there. But I want to move on because we've only got half an hour left.
What?
I know. I'm not lying. I'm providing
Where does this
information.
time go? Must be having fun or something.
So going to the store, I want to talk about the greeting. What is it that you are getting from your salesperson in the greeting? So quickly here, I just want to reiterate that it's live on Jess TV.
Yes, we
Please
are.
tune in at jessfm.ca. Yeah, give us a
Oh.
call.
Yeah, there's a number to call if you want to speak to Jess, if you have any questions, any feedback.
Leave a message.
Yeah, by all means, it's 403-942-0068.
And we're on Facebook, so just look up Jess FM on Facebook. download the app for your iPhone or your Android. You have an iPhone, I have an Android, so we don't always agree.
No.
Now, I want to get into the greeting, and the greeting, this is from the sales point of view. So those of you who are in the sales industry like us, this is from our point of view, and so some of this might be a little bit revealing to the customer, because I want to go behind the veil and sort of expose what it is that we do to them, because if you have nothing to hide, well...
Okay, go on.
Okay, yeah, let's just move on. All right. So the very first thing that we want to do when a customer comes onto the lot is to make them feel welcome and valued. And of course, the way to do that is to approach somebody who's come onto our lot. We're not even at this point trying to sell you a single thing. The only objective here is to make you feel welcome. And that's why I greet a customer and deal with them on an individual and personal level. And I just want to say that sometimes when we meet people who've come onto our lot, they've maybe had a previous bad experience.
That can happen, maybe.
You know what? The very first car I ever bought, I was on one lot, I had a bad experience, I went across the road to another dealership, and just fuming. Went across to the next dealership, and the guy, so this guy he's probably my idol, the first person who ever sold me a car. He was so awesome. He put me at ease. He disarmed me, made me feel welcome, and hadn't tried to sell me a thing yet. He was just there to listen and offer information. And it was such a different experience that I just was able to relax. And so this is what we're trying to do. We want you to relax. There's a good reason for that, because if we're going to work together as a team, you and I, then we need to be on the same page. And so
and that's important, right? You want to make sure the customer is, aware that you're aware of how much time they have. That might have been the reason you were peed off initially, right?
Yeah, somebody was wasting your time.
Yeah.
Your time is valuable.
You went in looking for a vehicle, it wasn't available, but half an hour went by until they told you that it wasn't available.
Yeah.
Just little things like that.
And believe me, our time is available, or is valuable. And available, but very valuable, because all we have on our plate is time in which to do our jobs.
Yeah.
And so we're not there to waste it either. We really aren't on the back lot tossing a football around, although I really wish we were.
Well, when it's summer.
In the summertime?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? If a customer brings a football, that should be okay, because then we can build some rapport while we're tossing the ball around.
Sure.
Boss can't get mad at me for that, can he?
I'll play a bit of footy.
Yeah? Oh, no. So I'm talking Canadian football, not credit.
Okay, no, not that
Not kicking the ball around.
Not that type of football. I thought you meant football.
Yeah, anyways. I'm not getting into that. It's somebody else's show. Somebody else can argue about football and football. So, yeah, we want to make sure that people feel at ease when they come on.
So the point is, we will ask you how much time do you have.
Yeah.
If you only have, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, we can certainly get done what you would like to achieve in that time.
Yeah.
And then get you on your way for you to continue your errands or your shopping elsewhere. We're not, going to stall you.
No, there's no stalling. Yeah, my time's too valuable for that. So the very first thing that I'm going to do as a sales rep is walk up to the customer, look them in the eye, be open to them, put up my hand and say, "Welcome to EFG Motors. My name is Jason, and you?" Now, this is a very specific reason. I want to introduce myself so that you know who I am, so you know who you're dealing with. I usually have a little name tag here that says Jason as well.
Jason the car guy.
It says Jason the car guy on it, yeah. I actually made them pay for that. And then it also it's meant to draw out your name too. Because if I don't know who you are, then how on earth are we going to work together, right? And then this is all about putting the buyer at ease so they drop their guard. And I mentioned myself, how I dropped my guard with my first salesperson, and it made the transition just so smooth. I've always, to this day, wanted to be that guy.
That's pretty cool. Like you had
I wish I could get a hold of him. His name was Jeff.
Okay. Was he in Alberta?
No, he wasn't even in Alberta.
Oh, okay.
He'll never be watching this show. But if you are, Jeff, and you recognize me from how long ago? 20 years ago?
Oh, what was your first vehicle?
New vehicle?
The first vehicle you purchased, what was your first one?
Do I have to admit that on TV?
Yeah.
it was a Kia Rio. You know what? And I didn't have any issues with it. In fact, I was going to say that I was never going to go over there because they were new to Canada. I thought, how much do they know about cars? Well, how much did I know about them, right? But it was the salesperson that made the difference to me. And I owned that car for, 6 years and never had a problem with it, loved it. And I do not work for those people, and I do not represent them. I'm just saying I had a good experience and a good car.
I'm just being nosy. I just wanted to
Yeah,
know
okay.
the first vehicle was here. Mine was a Sorento. I loved it.
Sorrento?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's just about the same thing.
Yeah, right?
Well,
It's pretty cool.
yeah.
I really enjoyed that in the snow and stuff.
Yeah,
Loved it.
cool. And so the next thing that we want to do is find common ground.
So how do you do that, Jason?
What are you doing to my cars? So how do I find common ground? You know what? The biggest thing about finding common ground is that our customer, or a human being who comes onto the lot,
Yeah.
is there to get information, and I have information. That is common ground.
So how are you going to collect that information? I mean,
Going to ask
so like
questions.
saying that, and you could listen.
Oh, I'm
How?
getting to that. I'm getting to that. It's on this card here somewhere. Yes, I'm going to listen. But I want to find common ground by giving you all the information that you've asked for.
Okay.
And you know what? And in that process, we just start building rapport. It just happens naturally. We just start talking, and we start sharing things together. I don't need to tell you you have lovely kids by complimenting you and binding you up. You know you have lovely kids. You're not here to discuss your kids. You're here to discuss a vehicle purchase.
Yeah.
And so I try to keep on task as much as possible while building that rapport, and the rest just happens naturally.
But one of the worst things in the world is when you do go into any store and you need help and you know the salesperson or sales isn't listening to you when you're telling them what you're looking for, and they're just off on their own track to
Yeah.
grab you what they need to move that day.
So, yeah, in
That
fact,
can be frustrating.
Yeah.
So in our world, it's so important to listen and to prove you're listening. Don't
yeah,
you think?
absolutely. So one of the things from our training that I remember that stands out to me is, are you listening, or are you waiting for them to shut up so you can just pitch more?
Okay, exactly.
Yes.
I recently had that experience in a store, and oh my word, was it frustrating?
Not in our store.
No, just in a store. In
Random store.
A random store.
In a random town.
Random city, yes. And again, it comes back to time. I didn't really have the time, to actually go into what specifically I was looking for. To take half an hour explaining that because they weren't listening.
Yeah, they just
That's how
wanted
it
you to
made me
shut
feel.
up so that they could just keep talking.
Well, something like that.
So listening is sort of a way that we try to differentiate ourselves. Because the customer needs to know who I am and that I'm different from other experiences that they may have had. And I might not be. There's a lot of really good salespeople out there. I can't claim to be the best. In fact, I'm nowhere near the best.
Yeah.
I'd probably be a lot richer if I was.
Me too.
But I do my best. Now, this is the scary part of what we do, and this is part of our training that maybe some salespeople are going to be like, oh, did he just say this? So, yeah, here it goes. I'm going to just drop this bombshell. We take control. Yeah.
Okay, go on. How do you take control?
The salesperson takes control, and this is important. And this is important. No, it's not that we take control. The customer has to offer control to the salesperson, and there is a reason for this. I'm a professional, and I know how to find what works best for you. In fact, you might come onto the lot and I already know what's best for you, and sometimes that's true. But I'll tell you, absolutely, unequivocally, that I have had more than half of my customers who came onto the lot asking for a very specific unit to drive, drive away with something completely different and thank me for it. In fact, it was probably last week already, but I had two customers who had both shown up for completely different vehicles than they drove out with, and I got hugs from both of them.
Oh, I love hugs. I hug my customers too.
Yeah, I don't hug them, they hug me.
Yeah.
But I hug back, come on.
Well, I hug my customers, and if they want to hug me, they'll let them hug me.
You're a lot more friendly maybe than I am.
Hugs are good.
Yeah, well, I try to be friendly, but anyways, they hug me.
But you don't hug them, they hug you.
Yeah.
You just want to make that clear, he's not a hugger.
I'm not exactly a hugger. But they both came in for completely different vehicles than they left with. But because I built trust with them. I earned their trust. They felt safe letting me take control of the sales process so that I could find the appropriate vehicle for them and surprise them with something that they hadn't really considered before. And that when they left, they hugged me. And then when I called the next day, because I always call and follow up, and ask them how they're getting along with the new vehicle, could not say enough good things about the process, about the vehicle that they're driving, and being excited. And then, of course, I always ask if they have any friends or family that are looking as well. And sometimes they're so excited and so happy, and they like the service that I've offered, that they do send them to me. You know, if not then maybe later.
So you showed them more options after you spoke to them and listened to what they were explaining to you?
Right.
You know, you
Yeah.
took a bit more time to say, well, would you consider something else? Because it sounds like, you know, what you're explaining to me, this could work.
Yeah. When you come in and you ask for a very specific vehicle,
Yeah.
I'm still going to ask questions. Do you need all-wheel drive? Do you want leather? Do you want sunroof? Do you want all these things? And sometimes I look at it all, and they're talking about a car, and I've found an SUV. Okay?
Yeah.
And switch them completely to something they didn't expect. I might switch them from a model that we typically sell to something that we don't typically sell, but we just happen to have a used one on our lot, and they're okay with that because they like the price, they like the features.
And it just fitted with everything that they were looking for, but they didn't know we had that at that
Or they
time.
hadn't even seen one before and didn't know it existed until I showed it to them.
Yeah.
This stuff happens. If you go to your doctor, you don't tell them that you have appendicitis. If you go to a competent doctor and say, I've got a pain here in my side, he's going to ask you questions, he's going to run tests, he's going to find out what it is you have because he's a professional, and this is how he takes control. And you've given that trust to him because he's earned it. And it's the same thing with us. We're not just employees.
Okay.
We're here for the customer. And if we're not, you're not going to buy from us anyway. So that it just works for itself. And listen.
It's all part of that experience, so you're listening and you're presenting your options. But it also should be fun. The experience should be fun.
Yeah.
I like to have fun in my workplace. I think that's important for the customer. Like I said, their time is so important. It shouldn't just be all very cold,
Should enjoy it.
you know? Yeah.
To
right?
that point, I cannot buy a car every year. I wish I could. So do you know what I do? I live vicariously through my customers.
Right?
And that's what makes it enjoyable.
Right? And I get super bloody excited when, a customer has decided on a vehicle. We have the delivery, and it is exciting. It is it can be a one-off event,
Yep.
once in every 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
So how special is that experience? How
Yeah.
special should it be? And we make it.
Could you imagine if you only had one birthday every 10 years, how much you're going to celebrate? That's what it is when you come to buy a car. And some people
Yeah.
have a birthday every year. That's not me.
Yeah, so
Maybe
some
someday.
people do.
Maybe people will be watching the show and have to come buy so many cars from me that I can afford to buy one every year. Or even
But-
every 2-3
but
years.
still, how cute is that, right? Because they're changing, right?
Yeah.
They're getting into something different and new with new upgrades that they maybe didn't have before.
Oh, yeah, because every year they're coming out with new stuff.
Yeah, right?
Some of
it's
these cars
a new
are-
experience having a lift gate that you just kick open.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You don't have to get your key out your pocket. I'll touch nothing.
And some of them will
Wave
steer
your foot
for
under
you.
it.
Some of them will drive, almost drive for you. Just about. Don't take your hands off the wheel, people, please. Just saying. It's going to help guide you. But we are here live on Jess TV. Please tune in at jessfm.ca.
You can call us. We
Yes,
do have
please.
a phone number here for feedback. We'd love all your feedback, all your questions, all your ideas as well for future episodes. You can call us on 403-942-0068.
Yeah, or go to Facebook and also download for your iPhone and your Android the apps so that you can watch us all the time, over and over again.
Well, we do have our own Facebook page.
Oh, we do too.
Yeah, we do welcome all comments on there as well. We will, reply.
Yeah. Auto Boom on Facebook.
Boom.
Auto
Yeah.
space boom. Sorry, it's not all one word. Apparently, somebody had that at some point and it's passed and still there.
We're active on Instagram as well.
Instagram as
So
well.
we do like Instagram. So yeah, join us on there as well. We do like to interact with, our fans. We would
Yeah.
love to hear more stories.
And if you go to our Instagram, we're not just sharing memes. That's what everybody does. We actually make our own memes. So
You need to go to our Instagram and
Yeah.
look at his his interesting little
his,
posts.
our, So we actually, we have Post-it notes every morning when we go over what we're going to discuss on the show. And we have a little Post-it note, and we write our own meme with our own little drawings. I am a little bit of a doodling artist, so check it out. It's fun. Her ideas, my drawings.
I can't draw a circle, so I can't do that.
I can't draw a
I'm
circle
not going to
either.
own that at all. I'm just going to pass it over to Jason. He can do it.
I can draw a cat. I cannot draw a circle. So let's just make that straight. We need to move on here. What to expect from your salesperson? Back to the buyer. So we talked about our salesperson. Now let's go back to the purchaser. And ask the purchaser, the buyer, about your salesperson, about the person who's representing the dealership that you've walked onto. How prepared are they? This is the thing, when you come onto a lot, do they have their mouth full? Are they eating cheesies, and this is how they greet you? They wipe their hand off and then put their hand, what are they doing to greet you?
Well, maybe you should have used the left hand to eat the cheeses.
That was my secret I was going to just reveal. I only eat my cheesies with my left hand so that my right hand is always clean.
I didn't know that this is a thing. Apparently you have to eat cheese
Yeah, I'm not
with
the
your
only
left
one who's
hand.
got this.
I didn't know this. This is new to me.
The cheesy hand, the shaking
I'm going
hand.
to have to start doing that.
Yeah, it also works for high fives. But yeah, so is your salesperson prepared to deal with you? Do they have that stunned look on their face? I actually walked into one dealership once, and this is years and years ago, with an application in my hand, and the salesperson who greeted me kind of just blinked and went, hi, welcome. And I was just like, I think I'm in the wrong place, and I walked out. Seriously. I wasn't even there to buy a car. I was there to drop off a resume. I thought,
Well,
I'm not going to work in a place where this is the greeting.
That's a good representation of, that person, on that day.
Yeah.
They're having a good day. You want to make sure your salesperson is happy, where they are.
You know what? It doesn't even matter whether I'm having a good day. I should treat you the same anyways.
Exactly, but it's that opinion when you
Leave the
first
garbage
walk
at home.
into a store, any
Yeah.
store. You walk into a store, if you get,
place.
somebody grunts at you, are you going to say, oh, I can't wait to buy your products in this store?
I might buy from somebody who grunted at me. I don't know.
I think it happens.
Sure. I might like that, but not everybody would. And are they distracted? We all have cell phones, and somebody might come on and, oh, hey. That I think that might actually happen because we just lived in a distracted time, and you shouldn't know that about me. You shouldn't know that I'm addicted to my phone. You should think that I'm just sitting there waiting, perched on the edge of my desk, waiting for you to show up, just so I can greet you with enthusiasm. So we need to move.
Again, it's true in any store. When
Yeah,
you walk
of course.
into any store, and
Customer service.
trying to find a pair of jeans and you need help, and the 4 salespeople are just on the phones and chatting and sharing memes, and you're having a nightmare trying to find a pair of jeans.
2 days ago, I went to buy a pair of jeans. I went to 2 stores, didn't get any help. The 3rd store, the person came in. They immediately asked me what I want. I told him what I want. He says, what style do you like? I said, I don't even know. You know what? He's the expert. And he took control. He took a measurement of my waist, said, I think you look good in these. Why don't you try them? They're a little bit slimmer fit than maybe what you're used to, because I was wearing sort of baggy jeans. And I tried them on. They were wonderful. In fact, I bought the pants from him, and I bought a shirt from him, and I'll certainly go back to him. And because he just made me feel welcome,
Yeah,
he
right?
helped me immediately. He offered his expertise, and I was just sold. I'm going to continue to go back to
You didn't
that
buy
store.
from the other stores.
And the other stores were half the price this guy was. He earned it. They earned it.
That's interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I had a similar experience, and nobody helped me, and I didn't buy any jeans anywhere because nobody helped me. So I'm gonna go back and.
Yeah. In an undisclosed stores, in an undisclosed city, in an undisclosed part of the world.
Yes.
This is when you walk on a lot, and this is just a quick little thing. We don't really have to get into it, but
Yeah.
are you being met by a senior staff member, or is it a noob? For those people who don't know what a noob is, it's somebody who's new to the whatever it is, new to anything.
Yeah.
And which do you prefer? This is a question I'm just going to throw out there to people if you're watching and want to answer this question. Do you want to talk to senior sales? Do you want to talk to the new guy? And why? Because I hear different, I constantly hear different things from different people. And I'm just personally interested in your stories. There's
That
no
is
right or wrong answer. It's just a personal curiosity.
Yeah. And again, I think that comes down to and ties into previous experiences.
Yeah, I suppose it does.
In other stores, like we were just talking about. Yeah.
And yeah, I just want to talk about the salesperson that you meet. How knowledgeable are they?
Okay, I do have to say that my technical knowledge will not stay. I've tried so hard, and I read post-it notes on a night, last thing at night before I go to sleep, to try and get this technical, information to stay. So it's something I'm working on. So I can't always remember, the
Well,
exact,
That's fine, because this leads into
size
my
of the
next
gas
point.
tank.
I'm not a numbers guy. I'm just not a numbers guy. I'm a people person. I'm not a numbers person. But this leads into my next thing, because we can't know everything. In fact, some customers are so prepared when they show up, they know more about the vehicle than we do, and we sit with them every single day.
Love that, because then we learn from each other, right?
Oh, I learn something new from my customers every day.
10 times a day for me.
Whether I retain it or not is a completely different matter. But your salesperson, how do they answer your questions? Are they willing to find the answers for you, because we don't always know them?
Yeah.
Are they dodging questions?
Yeah.
This is just a pet peeve of mine. There's not a single question you can ask that I will dodge. Why would I?
What do you mean by dodging? Dodging?
Dodging questions? Yeah, if you're asking me, if you come on to the lot and say, what's the best price on this vehicle? Now, that's not a question I can answer immediately, but you're not going to leave before I answer that question, okay, in the time that you've given me. And, and I'm going to go through a bit of a process to get to that question, because I need to make sure that I'm providing the appropriate numbers on the appropriate vehicle. So then I am going to go back to asking you questions about what it is you need. But it's not dodging questions, it's leading to the final answer, and that's what a professional should do.
That makes perfect sense, because then you're then going to ask more questions to make sure you're going to give them the right answer.
Yeah, right. The best number I can give you on the wrong car is still the wrong number. So what's the point? And also, here's the biggest pet peeve of mine. Did they make up the answer? If they don't know the answer, they're going to make something up. Oh, yeah, it's a double wing, left nut, whatever. And it's, you don't need to make up the answer. If you don't know the answer, just admit it, right?
Yeah.
Don't make something up, because they'll just expose you for a poor salesperson.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, and saying, you know what, I don't 100% know right now.
But I know where to find the
I'm going
answer.
to find out, and then I'm going to print it out, and then I'm going to make sure you'll take that information with you.
I hate admitting it, but I have to do it just all the time.
We all do.
Yeah.
The size of a gas tank catches me out. We do have a few different products, and I can't remember the size of every single,
Now I'm going to start finding out a few questions like, is that really important question? If it is, let's make sure that we get the right number. And does your salesperson know their competition? If you come in and say, I'm looking at this, this, and this, and now I want to see your comparable item, do I know what you're talking about? Do I know the items that you're talking about? Because there's a lot of products out there. It's hard for us to know everything.
Well, that's the thing. There's so many awesome products out there.
Yeah, they're all awesome. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the market.
You should compare, absolutely.
And so the thing is your salesperson also respecting your choice to look at these other ones, or are they slamming the competition?
Yeah, no, that's
not professional.
That's not cool. You should, have the knowledge, and your salesperson should encourage you to do that. Absolutely. Here's some reviews from outside sources. Let me
third-party reviews.
Email you this link direct. Let me text you this link.
Yeah.
Because
I can send
not
you
just one link. Here's 2 or 3.
Right.
So you get several different parties' opinions on the comparison.
And that's why you want to give your contact information to the salesperson that you trust, because they can get you so much information. I want to overload you with information, not because I need to overload you, but because you can see that I'm willing to go the extra mile to give you everything you need.
And you are saving the customer some time as well, because, like I said, we're living this crazy-ass busy time. Everybody, works so freaking hard.
Who's got free time anymore?
So part of our job is to save you time. So like I said, here's the information. Here's it's printed. Here's the email. Here's the text link.
Yeah, and all third-party information that you can trust, not just propaganda.
Exactly. It's really, really good quality, third-party information that we use. Safety ratings. That's pretty huge these days, that we are in a safe vehicle. So here's the link, to a third-party provider of the safety ratings, not just my own opinion.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because I can say whatever I want. I need to back it, right? Because I could just keep going on and on about every vehicle, and you're not going to care to hear most of it. You might not trust all of it, so I need to back it up. We're just getting to the end of our show, so before we disappear...
No way.
Yeah, I know.
I'm tired.
Hey, you know what? We're getting through this, though. We're getting through this.
He's getting through his notes so that you can't read and understand what he's doing there.
You don't need to read them. I'll just read them out for you. Bad greetings. I love bad greetings.
What's a bad greeting?
Well, this is the thing: is how does your salesperson greet you? I wrote a few of them down, so let me share them with you. Are you here for the big sale?
Ooh.
Do you like that one?
I do. I like that.
Yeah,
one.
isn't that awful?
I'd be right there. Sure.
Yeah.
That'd
I'm
work
here for
on-
the big sale.
that'd
What big
work on
sale?
me. Yeah, sure.
Hey, guess what?
Yeah.
Every day is a big sale. Wow. Okay. What are we buying today? I've heard with my own ears salespeople approach people on the lot and say, "Hi, what are we buying today?" Are you going to answer that question?
Well, I don't say that one.
Yeah, I don't want to get a slime on my
A
hand.
little bit. It's a little bit different, and I hadn't heard that one
Oh.
myself.
I've been,
That's not something I could say, I don't think.
I would never say that, but it gave me a good laugh, and then I walked away because I didn't want to laugh in front
I mean,
of the
it's different, right? And everybody does have their own way.
Yeah, but some of them are better than others. Oh, what can I get you out of today? Sort of the same question, but just,
What can I get you out of?
yeah. Oh, I think they're talking about cars. Don't go there. This isn't a clothing store.
Okay. Now
We're talking about cars
now
still.
you've cleared that up. Go on.
Yeah. And the last one is the power handshake.
Oh, yeah.
This is old school. I don't think anybody uses it anymore, although I've heard somebody tell me they've experienced this. You'll have a person hold out their hand,
So bite my hand.
turn it over. That's it. Just turn it over, and I'm in control now. And that's what I'm letting you know.
That's not.
Isn't that awful?
Cool, yeah.
Would you stick around for somebody who does that?
No, and you know what? I remember somebody shook my hand about 10 years ago, and I still remember that he nearly broke my hand.
Yeah.
Didn't appreciate that.
I shake hands as firmly as the person who shakes my
Yeah.
hand. Handshaking is an art form.
Again, it's just respect, right?
Yeah,
We're all
yeah.
about, making sure we're respectful of who is in front of us.
If somebody wants to hand me a limp fish, I'll give them a limp fish back. Somebody wants to be firm, I'll be firm back. I've got pretty big mitts. I'm not afraid of that.
Yeah.
But it has to. You can tell somebody's respectful immediately just from the way they shake your hand.
Yeah.
And just before we leave here, I just want to know: are any of the questions they're asking you red flags? And we're going to go into that more next week.
No. We've got some.
Or the week after. I don't know where we're at with this.
I
but,
know, hey? We've got
right.
some super exciting shows coming up.
On
Next
Just
week-
TV.
Yeah, Just TV. And next week we have a guest, like I said.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting and fun.
And if you can't watch it live on Just TV, you're going to go over to jessfm.ca and give us a listen. You're going to go to our Jess FM Facebook. Check us out, Auto Space Boom. Don't say Auto Boom on Facebook. Check us out. We want your comments, your feedbacks.
Yeah.
Download the
Call
apps.
us.
Call us.
Messages, and keep emailing me. I'm so interested in more stories, more experiences. And like I said, the good, bad, ugly.
Right.
The
We need more ammunition from you
weird
guys.
and wonderful.
You know what I'm talking
It's
to.
all good.
And 403-942-0068. Have a great week.